Hey, I'm Samura1man. I'll be running Metroid Prime 80% for you, and this is my commentator helping me.
Hi, I am Zaz, and I've also run this game, and we're the Finnish duo doing the Metroid Prime
The
today.
Finnish duo. So I think it was a runner 1 that starts.
Yep.
Well, you can start the first cutscene and skip that, but just because the run has never shown the first cutscene in any marathons, just for a good pleasure, I want to show it for you how the Metroid Prime really started. If you wanna, you can start there when the
game begins.
Yeah, when the game begins. I remember in PAL version there was a narrator talking in this first scene. Like, fortunately, in American first version of American doesn't have it. I'm playing on an American version because it's the fastest version. There's a couple of movement tech that are not possible in the newer versions because they're patched. European version and player choices being one of them. So the version is 1.0 basically. And just look at how beautiful the game starts and the music and the atmosphere. It's a little bit long cutscene, but just because it's a marathon, I wanna show it for everyone. The run itself for Metroid Prime series, like Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, have always been technical, especially 1. The movement in this game is all that matters for how much better the other players can be. Like every room is, how can I explain this?
It's heavily movement based, rather than like tricks and like separate things to do in rooms. Same tricks, just faster movement.
Yeah, it starts after it zooms in. So yeah, the game itself doesn't show too many glitches. It's not yet, but the game doesn't introduce too many glitches. Mostly the movement, like Sus explained, and we are off. At the start of the game wants to introduce different mechanics. You may see me doing some quick dashes like this, but I will explain that later, because during this part I would like to explain what is about to happen here. So Samus found a signal, I would say, for this place that there's space pirates having something secret, I would say. So we're going through this place to find out what it is, I would say. Jumping in this game, there's like so many different kind of jumps that can just speed up your movement. The momentum you can extend that with different kind of jumps. Like one of the techniques is called bunny hopping, where you land on the ground, then jump again to keep your momentum going. It's really hard technique, like any jump is.
Overall, you'll be moving a lot faster when going mid-air than on the ground.
Yes.
There isn't all that much going on in this area, as it's kind of like a tutorial area where you get really weak enemies, some easy targets to hit, and then it just gets you used to how the game's gonna be playing.
Yes. Normally you're supposed to go around and hit to the elevator. But you can instead skip that by doing that.
The bomb jumps, as we know from other games, they aren't quite the same in the Prime games, as there's like a bomb limit on how many bombs you can have out before they have to regenerate. So you can do normally infinite bomb jumps. So you'll be seeing some bomb jumps, but they aren't quite as big thing as in other Metroid games.
Yes. Right behind these next 2 doors, there's a boss fight, Parasite Queen, and after that, it's an escape from this place because it starts the what is it called?
Self-destruct.
Yes, self-destruction sequence. And during this section, there is actually an out of bounds that is faster and really hard. I'll attempt that, which is right after the boss fight. There at the start, I was looking at the mouth because it deals more damage than a body part for Parasite Queen.
And normally you can't fire missiles this fast, but you can use either the power beam by firing it or switching to it to cancel the missile like launcher animation and fire another missile a lot faster.
I'm gonna go through a couple rooms, then the out of bounds sections is about to happen, so we can put in one donation before that.
Sure. We have $30 from Pergont saying, "Go Samurai-man, I am so happy to watch you stream tonight. Thank you for your generous donation."
Thank you. So normally you're supposed to go around left, but instead we're gonna go right, and this is the hard part where I have to start focusing. It's really hard to see with the with the monitor. It's really dark here.
So right now we're out of bounds, and you can do that pretty easily in some places, but navigating the out of bounds areas is very difficult, as you have to land on specific parts on the map to be actually able to move while out of bounds. And to move from room to room, you have to actually hit load triggers and then trick the game into thinking you went through the door. So right there he stood on top of the door to make the game think that he actually went through the door and load the next room.
These jumps I'm doing has a 3-frame window. The game runs in 60 FPS. I'm having a little bit trouble right now, but when I find the timing and rhythm, I'll be able to go through this.
So
I have to be careful I don't lose too much height because I might drop all the way down.
So the way this works is every loaded area like this room has like a box that sits inside of, and inside that box you have gravity active, and while you go outside it you can basically walk in the air. So that's why he was able to walk sometimes just freely out of bounds like he did while jumping up there. So you can't jump because you're basically stuck mid-air walking. So what you do is you step quickly into the room where gravity and all collision is active, and you have a small window to do a jump there, and then he goes back into the what we call ether, and then attempts another jump to gain height in the room.
I'm gonna make this carefully. So I need to land on a door. Now there's one more part. I have to trigger the next room by doing that. I think I got it. That's very good. So normally you would go through this whole escape sequence, then meet Ridley and lose your power-ups, but instead we skip that. However, the game has 2 checks for the item loss sequence. There's one after Ridley and one when you go through this next cutscene, when you land on a planet. So unfortunately we can't keep the Morphle, Charge Beam, missiles, all that is completely lost after this cutscene. But that was quite good. I was a little bit afraid I would drop down anywhere, because backing up that, and if you drop down anywhere, backing up that can take a while. So I'm really happy with that.
The actual reason for that out of bounds is to skip elevators and cutscenes that you would get going through the normal route. So instead you go out of bounds and go basically backwards where you came from.
Ooh.
Right here we see a lot of the fast movement exploited. You have these type of combat dashes that you can do sideways, but by simply releasing the dash halfway through, the game lets you make the dash as long as you want. Normally it would stop like within half a second. So using these dashes, he's able to jump a large gap over to where you find space jump, which is normally, it's about 7th item in the game, and it's gonna be the first item he wants. And as we explained, jumping and dashing are very fast ways of movement, and they of course get you into a lot more places once you have the space jump. So having that early is gonna be a huge advantage.
Yes, scan dashing is patched in a newer versions, which is the main reason we run on the oldest, the first version of the game. Combat dashing, like Sas explained, that also can be done of the enemies, but scan dashing is the most useful one because there are no enemies in some rooms. We are supposed to get missiles from the enemies, couple rooms past, but instead we can get it here. Then since we have space jump already, we can go and get this E-tank. Now we are off to get the morph ball. You notice I'm looking down a little bit like this. These are like a different kind of jumps. Like there's L jump and R jumps. I guess we can explain the L jump first,
Yeah.
which is done with the L button. Normally when you jump in this game, Samus lose speed completely and starts from 0, the initial jump. Instead with the L jump, when you jump, you keep the speed. And you don't lose the momentum mid-air, which can be annoying and slows down, and you wouldn't be able to make some jumps. Meanwhile, with R jump, you simply add the R button, and you extend the jump for Samus. It's a tricky timing where you have to just add the R button and reuse the L button again because you can't keep it all the time. Like you might notice here, I'm stopping holding L button if you see the target in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, so every time you see Samus grab his gun with the other hand, he's doing an R jump. And basically what the R button allows you to do is turn sideways, and this game, it has movement speed caps backwards and forwards, but not sideways. So with R jumps you can turn diagonal and then negate some of that movement speed cap by being slightly sideways.
During this whole run, I'll try to pick up some missiles and power up. And necessary power-ups we need are some of them are many necessary power-ups are gonna be on our way. Bombs, morph ball, speed boost ball. Charge beam is especially one of them. Speeds up so much for the game. And during the run, I'll also collect some E-tanks for more survivability. When I'm next to the save points, I'll save too. Because if you die in a Metroid game, you start from the last save point where you saved the run. And in this case, right now, it will be the ship if I happen to die here, for example. After a charge beam, we are on our way to get the bombs. In this game, you can pretty much like stand on anything. That door is important to missile. We'll explain it later. Ooh, I got stuck there. Before the boss fight, we have gonna have like a one donation.
Sure. We have an anonymous $40 donation with the following message. Excited to see my man Samu running my favorite GameCube game. Thank you for your donation, and good luck figuring out who that was.
I'll figure it out later. So this is one of the first bosses of the game, or like a mini bosses. It doesn't have a health bar, and there's quite a bit of RNG. This weak point that shows up in a head has a timer. For the first hit, I can't remember how much it was, but the first hit is different from the next second, third, and fourth hits. Completely RNG, like I said. There's a small ledge we can stand on to make this hit faster. And I need to avoid not taking damage, but they don't wanna cooperate right now with me, it seems like. Do you happen to remember the seconds for the...
No.
Yeah, thought so. It's a little bit in-depth explanation, like how the droid works, or how long... when the timer... Well, there we go. It seems good so far. Good luck.
Also, the ledge he's jumping on requires space jump, so normally you would actually have to just dodge the flames.
Yeah, you can land on it with a single jump, but it's really, really difficult. That was a really good ride. So while standing on this ledge, someone is supposed to be around the room next to the bomb. But instead we're gonna land on a bomb and get the power up. Next up is a Flakra, the boss fight, which gives us a Varia suit. After getting bombs, I'm not gonna open these. I'm not gonna do this puzzle to open the next door to go to Ice Beam later, because there is an Ice Beam out of bounds. I'll do after. I'll come back here, which is also another out of bounds sequence you saw in Frigate. Exactly same, longer, also difficult too. Any out of bounds sections are just very, very difficult for this game. Just the way how you have to be extremely careful to not drop down anywhere, because backing up, actually I don't like my health, I'm gonna quickly save. Or get my health back too. It's a safety save. Sometimes just before Flakra I haven't got any health, and I don't like that because I don't want like to have more than just the one E-tank against Flakra. It can deal a lot of damage if I'm not doing the fight correctly, or faster rather. Here are 4 different scannable objects to open this door. However, since we can land on anything, we can get really, really fast up here. And just simply bomb jump over, if I can do that. Almost. That's This is not super difficult, but it can be tricky sometimes if you mess up the timing.
Yeah, the hitbox on the door is actually higher than what it looks.
Yes. Well, I got the double E-tank health there. So Flakra has 4 weak points. Just for the start of the fight, we're gonna take off this lamp. So Flakra is just vulnerable for the first hit. Then the next hit, I'm not gonna shoot down the mirrors, because the weak points can be got to with just a simple scan dash. Land on the side next to the weak point and just bomb it. Let's see, can I do these scan dashes? I'm gonna attempt 2 of them because the third one, the last one, is very, very difficult. Got it. That's a 1. That's where I have to land for the first one. If I happen to... For the scan dashing, you can maneuver what way you're gonna go by holding up or down. And up, sometimes up left, up right. And sometimes it can be very difficult just based on the speed you just got from the scan dash. Oh, that was unfortunate. Nothing I can do about it but just stun Flakra, so I'm not gonna get too much hit. I guess we can start explaining the next upcoming part after Varia's suit. In this room, okay, I guess I didn't explain the object of the game. There's 12 artifacts surrounded around the whole game, and we have to find them to get to the final boss of the game. And this room, where we just killed Flakra, there is an artifact of Filed as a name. After getting Varia's suit, there's a room that triggers artifact of Filed in this room, and there's a trick called Infinite Bomb Jump, which we do against the wall to go past the trigger that loads the next room for this, and I'm gonna try to attempt to get back up here. It's very difficult because it's only one try. If I happen to fall down, I will have to go get the spider ball, and later, far later in a run, I will come back later and use the spider ball to get back up here. Instead, I've prepared myself with a backup save file if I happen to drop down. Just wanna mention it. So Sas, do you know about the game much? What for is Varia suit?
Varia suit is for more protection and mainly to get through the hot areas in Malmö.
Yep. You can get through that with a couple E-tanks, but Varia suit overall, we really need that for the whole run. So this is the moment when I need to focus for the timing.
So casually we would be now done with this room and eventually find out that we need to get another way in there. But we're just going to exploit that another way. Try to get in right away.
Got it.
Oh, nice.
One fact is that the trigger is just barely below that ledge, but there's no way we can reach that with just a single jump, then space jump back up. So yeah, this is the ghost fight. It's called ghost fight because these are Chozo ghosts that we can't see them with a regular visor. With an X-ray we can see them all the time. This is a stun lock I'm attempting.
So the ghosts are supposed to dash away once you hit them one time, but if you hit them right as they start dashing, they take another knockback and then they're gonna attempt their dash again. So essentially if you keep hitting them as they start dashing, they won't be able to get anywhere.
That was a good stun lock for the first one. Unfortunately now when I hit that one, when it was charging, I can't hit it again. Fully charged beams does more damage than if partially charged. Sometimes this can be really not go too fast because it's mostly RNG where they go, and then they disappear for like just a couple seconds, move to the next place, and I have to be ready to shoot them again. Like it could spawn here, or could it spawn? Oh, it went through. Okay. If I was fast enough, I can get to this artifact before this spawns, and I will just simply skip one of these cutscenes at the same time while the artifact spawns. Not a big deal. I guess I can mention that the Metroid Prime hasn't been shown in ESA for years. So this is a really great opportunity, thanks to ESA, for accepting this run. Show what this game is about after so many years. I would say the route hasn't changed that much, like at all. It's mostly been, like I've mentioned and such too, that it's very movement heavy game. So any time save you want is coming from the movement. There's not too many glitches. But there's a couple of out-of-bounds sections. I'll be doing 3 of them. 1 is done, and there's 2 more coming. So Malmö Caverns. That was the first artifact we had to get. 12 of them. There's 1 at the start of Malmö we're gonna get. I wanted to avoid that enemy by morphing to the left side. Scan dashing can be... Dashing in general can be really tricky when you don't see to the side at all. So you have to like just rely on your muscle memory.
This is supposed to be a super missile artifact, but for some reason it's just enough to do the damage of a super missile, which is 2 normal missiles.
Yes. In my first playthrough, I found that with a super missile. Oh, I didn't get the dash there. Oops. So yeah, you can see like how difficult the game can be with so many different dashes in a rooms. Then adding different jumps like R jump to keep your momentum. Bunny hopping. Just there's too many jumps, different jumps to explain. So we're going to Malmö. Malmö is like a sword kind of area that doesn't have any boss fights really, but there's an item we'll be getting later. Normally you're supposed to go around this whole room, but instead we can stand on this rock and get up here. There's a knee tag up here. I'm gonna go get it. Doesn't take too long. And we're off to Pandara Drifts, the next area.
And while you're using that elevator, I have a $250 donation from Tompa, who says, I am tired, I need to sleep. Good night. Thank you very much for a generous donation. And good night, Tompa.
Good night, Tompa. Thank you so much. I'm watching this cutscene to get Samus closer to the area where I can do a quick dash. Otherwise, I will be spawning next to the door. And right here, I can skip the cutscene and dash to the left. That's how beautiful the movement can be in this game. It's very flashy, looks good, feels good when you get them right. And every room just has billions of ways to them. Scan dashing, morph balling, jumping, just way too many to name. In this next room, we're gonna get the boost ball. I'll try to attempt the hard strat here. That's just saves like a second, possibly. But at least what I heard. Hey, that was nice. All the way to boost ball. So after boost ball, we're supposed to get the space jump now after boost ball. However, we're gonna go and get the wave beam, which is the next out of bounds section we're gonna go for. Is the wave beam and sun, artifact of sun as a name. Now having a boost ball, I wanna boost ball every room that have a mostly the long distance rooms, and generally hard rooms to dash back. Like these are just something you can't dash in, so it's better to use a boost ball. After this cutscene, I'm gonna go out of bounds and go for the wave and sun out of bounds sequence. The out of bounds are called wall crawls by the community for this game. So this jump I'm gonna go for is called R dash, just because I'm adding the R button for this dash. It reaches all the way to the out of bounds here, where I'm not supposed to be. And this is the moment when I need to focus a little bit. Just like Sas mentioned, there are triggers for the rooms. Uh-oh, I'm in a wrong room, okay. I can see from the mini-map that I'm in a wrong room, possibly. I think I'm in a... Okay, I had to back up that because I was possibly in a wrong room there. That was very good.
So right now, when he went to that door, he transitioned to the next room and then went actually back into this. So he's technically in the wrong room right now, and when you're in the room that the game doesn't think you're in, it's really easy to get stuck on walls. So he's doing that intentionally here to get stuck, and when you're stuck, it's possible to reach morph ball speeds that reach infinity. So this is called infinite speed, which he is charging up, and that's gonna do a lot of interesting things.
We're building speed, chat. This takes about a minute. Do you have anything to say, Mr. Donation Reader?
Well, of course. And we can hear about Save the Children a little bit. Like that Save the Children has created more safe spaces around the world for children in emergencies than any other humanitarian organization. When a disaster strikes, these safe spaces can provide children with protected areas where they participate in organized activities to play, socialize, learn, and express themselves as they rebuild their lives.
And that's what happened. So after gaining enough speed, Samus loses the morph ball, the outer side of the ball, and that's what we can do after gaining enough speed. We just got Artifact of Sun and Wave Beam. We didn't see the Artifact of Sun there because the cutscene gets overlapped by the Wave Beam as far as I know. But we have it, no worries. We don't have to backtrack later. And supposedly that is faster. Yes, it is faster. We don't want to do the boss fight. After that, we are heading back to Malmö, go to the Chozo ruins, because we need to collect some items there, as well as artifacts, of course. Any more donations?
Of course, we have $25 from Ticalora saying, I just woke up from getting my wisdom teeth out. Looking forward to recovering with ESA all week. Best of luck with the run, Samu. You will crush it. Thank you for this generous donation.
Ooh. Generally, I wanna be careful with the R jumps too, or just pressing the R button mid-air because it locks my momentum. I forgot to explain that I forgot to explain it locks the momentum to go to that direction if you're facing at, or partially that way if you're facing the other directions. So R jump generally, pressing R button while jumping is generally very scary. That was one of the artifacts, the fort, and now we're going Malmö to go back to Talon Overworld. Then from there we go to Chozo ruins.
And while we're going there, I would like to remind you that you can put your donations towards several incentives. For example, during Pokemon Y2, you can make Etienne take on Cynthia if you donate $500. There are still 200 left for that, so if you want to see him fight Cynthia, go for it, donate towards this incentive, and of course towards Save the Children.
Got stuck a little bit on our way during the whole run. We're picking up these missiles like I explained. We'll need to have like around over 25 at least. 30 is like what I usually end up with for the whole run. Interesting about each room is that we don't have to open these doors like as soon as possible, but when we get closer to them, that's when it loads the next room. So no matter how fast you get, no matter if you shoot it from the other side of the room, it still takes time to load because you're not close to the next room at all. There's one more out of bounds section we're coming up to. It's right after Denny. neat glitch we're gonna go for again. Just before that, we have to go collect the artifact over this way. It's a little bit of backtracking, but necessary to beat the game. Called Artifact of Life Giver. I can't unfortunately remember all of the artifact names, but those important ones that I happen to have a splits for. Oh, I didn't land on that. That's okay, because we have a backup strats like these. Normally in this room, you will be picking up the... I can't remember its name.
Wavebuster.
Wavebuster. Yeah, Wavebuster. That will be you will have to climb up. That was one of the underwater Kero jumps that if you do against the slope, a jump, you can gain extra height even if you're not supposed to. An underwater movement generally you're not fast at all as without gravity suit. But with the underwater Kero jump, we can reach that artifact and completely skip getting gravity suit. Let me get a holy one. No, I got hit by a branch. There's one more thing I'm gonna do before I go and save. Before the out of bounds section. That's getting a power bomb expansion. And you're probably wondering, well, how are you supposed to get the power bomb expansion without going to base of mines? Well, glad you asked that, because you remember what I did in a Ventara to get the wave beam and sun. That was, by the way, unnecessary, that unmorph. Just pointing out. So we're gonna do that again. In this next room, there is a power bomb expansion in other side. You can get with a power bomb, but because we are speedrunners, we're gonna build some speed again here in this corner. If you happen to get stuck somehow, that's not gonna work actually. Because the camera somehow changed there in a way that it didn't let me to gain enough speed. I think that's not working too. That's strange. That will work. Alright, so we're gaining some speed again to get the glitch to work. This is completely necessary, I'll tell you. Normally, power bombs are first time you get them are in a phase of mines. There are a couple of ways to get them early. This is one of them. This is the fastest one that is just not too out of the way to get. And this will help us to get the X-ray after Ice Beam much quicker. We don't have to backtrack there later to get the power bombs from a phase of mines. That will be a long backtrack. Instead, we can just move on in phase of mines later. So yeah, this takes literally a minute, less than a minute. After that, to get the... If you noticed during the wave beam section, I did a boost balling twice there, just to get the... I can't even explain it better than this, but just show it what happens here when I use the boost ball. It interacts with the objects in a room, and that's why we can get the power bomb expansion early, like that. However, it also interacts with, like I said, it interacts with the objects. So the enemies, lava. Also, this is a funny neat glitch. So you can see some polygons there. That was to unmorphing. Unmorph there and remorphing again was to get the boost ball back, so we can boost ball in these sections. Otherwise, I would be taking so much damage and possibly have a chance for a soft lock potential or a hard crash even. Though, I still have the glitch on, the infinite speed, I think it was. I have to get rid of that by entering a cutscene, an item cutscene. Save point happens to be here. That gets rid of the cutscene completely. And we save here just before the ice beam early. Would you like to explain that more while I'm gonna focus for this section? This is the longest out of bounds sections we're gonna go through.
Yeah, so here we're gonna go out of bounds to skip a bunch of puzzles and required items to get to Ice Beam. And this trick used to be called Ice Beam before Flagra, because you can do this before Flagra, but then it was found out to be faster to do after Flagra, so now it's called Ice Beam before Flagra, after Flagra.
It's a great name. I'm a little bit stuck here. I have to get on the ground where I can stand. And carefully transition to the next rooms. And be careful I don't get myself stuck anywhere, because I would happen to be soft locking myself anywhere. I couldn't see where I was supposed to land there. Okay. This room is a little tricky. There's a loading trigger around here we have to hit to load the next room. I didn't get it. I think I might be in a old room too, but we're gonna check this quickly. Are we? Okay, one more time. If I happen to get a right there, this should load the next room, but it doesn't, which means I'm in an old room still somehow. So the only way we can do that is to unload it somehow. I hope I'm correct, because I haven't had to do this too many times. There you go. Now it's unloaded, and now we have to go and hit this loading trigger. That might be it. I know that for the sure that it's loaded by hitting this wall like that. Okay, just for marathon safety, because the screen is a little bit too dark compared to my own setup, so I'm gonna go around and take this safe route from the right side. I usually like the left side, because it's a lot cooler, harder, but a little scary because I couldn't see that well. The background is also completely dark, so it's really hard to see where to go. So we have to land this trigger that is not here, but we have to land on this ground. This triggers the next room where I just stood. Okay, that was scary, because I didn't know where I just landed. I have to be very careful there to not trigger the coast. That would be catastrophic. Ooh. Also, dropping down anywhere here can be also catastrophic. Okay, that's good save. That was very good. Couldn't have been any better, or worse. Oops. There's a small carrot jump you can do off these enemies. Nice miss. To get up here to the ice beam. The reason I'm watching this cutscene is just to equip the ice beam early here. It's a tiny bit time save. Oh, I'm not gonna go for that. I wanted to do a quick dash out of the door, but I didn't get it. And I will drop down possibly if I happen to try the enemy possibly, or just hit an obstacle on the way. So, what do you think about the run so far, Stas?
I think you're gonna finish it pretty well.
I think I'm doing very good, yeah. Hope you are enjoying it too. Everybody watching home, and everybody who's watching in ESA too. And why do I have not Ice Beam equipped? Anyway. Nice. Usually that doesn't happen to me. The reason we are here now, do you remember we got the Power Bomb expansion early? Well, the reason is that we want to get the X-ray away right away. This is the reason we need a Power Bomb for. There is a missile in this room, but I usually have ignored it, personally. Doesn't matter much, do you pick it up or not. Just means that I'm one expansion short. Sometimes that takes a long time to load, and sometimes I can't even land on an X-ray. So X-ray is one of those items that is necessary to beat the game. There is a boss fight that is requiring it to beat it. Otherwise you can't damage it. That is coming up later. Also, even if you wanted to skip X-ray, there's an artifact here. Can't skip that. It's a required item to beat the game. Unless there's any way ever in the future to duplicate artifacts, that would be something amazing.
Or skip them completely.
You can land on this small part of the tree just to land the artifact. Normally you would go around this whole room and above the room to fight the ghosts, then go through the morph hole. Instead, we can arc jump all the way back to the start and completely skip that. Sometimes I'm not sure why that happens, but you completely lose your speed there. Not sure why. That's really strange. Usually I don't hold any directions when I'm in that part. Now we are going to go back to the ship, and we are off our way to get to the plasma beam. This is mostly collecting necessary items to beat the game. Right now we have skipped a couple of them. I'm not sure when the gravity suit is supposed to be gotten, but we're not gonna get that for sure. Just telling.
Yeah, we don't know how you're supposed to play the game.
Yeah, that's true too. We're speedrunners. I mean, this is my first playthrough. I'm just gonna tell you that. Secret.
Yeah, you're just supposed to get the artifacts, like, why would you go get the gravity suit then?
Yep. A couple of elevator musics here and there. Get into a Talon overworld. We're gonna save in a ship, because the upcoming part to go to Magmore can be a little scary. To get to the plasma beam faster.
If you are enjoying this run of Metroid Prime, why not consider subscribing to ESA Marathon with your Twitch Prime subscription? You get it for free when you are an Amazon Prime customer. So this month, and you have this every month one Twitch subscription for free. So why not use it this month on ESA Marathon? And all subs coming in this month go towards Save Children. So do a good thing, get some emotes, and help a good cause.
So here's the safe. Actually, the only reason we are coming to this safe is a power bomb. There is no other way to get a power bomb that effectively, I would say, or there's no other place to get it for sure. Because some rooms don't have a good drop, and some enemies don't even drop it at all. This stash can be it's a very hard stash if you have already scanned. Especially scanned objects that are already scanned are just generally very hard to get a dash off. Possible, but just hard.
And you can see very well here that a lot of the movement isn't necessary, but it makes everything faster.
Yes.
So if you're a new runner to this, then you shouldn't be discouraged by all these hard-looking dashes, as most of them are optional.
And there's always many different ways to do any room and different routes too. So never feel discouraged if you're ever starting to run this kind of game. It's a hard movement. Even I have trouble. I think I didn't get it. Yep. Okay, good backup. That was one of those kind of nice. That was one of those kind of bunny hops I usually can't get. I've got it a couple times, but it's so hard that I just can't get it ever, even if I practiced it. Just one of those kind of optimizations to make that room faster. Now there's a Kato jump over here to reach this platform. Sometimes I can't get it. Then an arc jump to reach this platform. 2 of these platforms can't be skipped with a well-timed and well-used dash, but instead I'm gonna go use all of them. I have never got the dash before. Most of the runners on the top level can get it. Generally, difference between the top runners and a runner like my they're just extremely fast in every room. So now we are opening the ceiling to get to the plasma beam. There is a way to get to the door off from here with a really hard jump. But instead I'm gonna go to this part of the spider ball. You're supposed to have a spider ball for this, by the way. Instead we don't have it. And that's plasma beam. The last of the beams we need. Oh, I didn't get the where I'm landing. Okay, that's fine. Just carefully not too much damage myself. Next up is a Pandora, the other side of the Pandora where we just wear, not the wave beam side, but the other side that has a spider ball, thermal visor, and a gravity suit. Oh, that's a nice HP. I think I'm gonna go and quickly go to the safety save. It would be a shame to die, or I could take the E-tank that's on the way. But I wanna take that E-tank on my way back instead. And it doesn't lose any time to just save there quickly. Just in case if anything happens. And before we get to the next part, are there any more donations?
Oh yes, there are. There is a $50 donation from Pergont saying, I wish I had a quirky comments like all the other donators. But instead I can give a compliment to the best speedrunner. You are doing great, Samu. Thank you very much. With your support, Save the Children can work to keep children protected, healthy and thriving.
Thank you, Pergont. There was avoiding hopefully some obstacles to not land all the way down. Get to this door. There's an artifact here. That's why we are coming this far. Can I get this? Nice dash. This next room has a very aggressive space pirates. Hope they're not too bad. Instead, I'm not gonna go for that dash. I was considering it, but I'm not gonna go for that dash. It was so scary when they were shooting at me. They literally just took away one health bar from me. They're so strong.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate room to fall in, as there's a lot of water down and it's really slow to get back up.
Another water movement without gravity suit, it's very, very, very hard. That was a nice dash to skip the whole part of jumping back from there. So you notice that we are doing most of the stuff backwards. We're still gonna keep doing stuff backwards. One of them being getting the thermal visor and this artifact here. We're not even going next to the super missile at all. Just for the safety, I'm gonna kill these enemies, and especially those, because they're dealing a lot of damage and being very annoying enemies too. I have a good amount of health, I'm good with that. This room is very dark generally, but it will be darker later when you get the thermal visor. This next room, it's really tricky to explain like how you're supposed to do that. I didn't get the power bomb there. It's fine. But there is a space barret that breaks this glass. Oh no! Don't do that. I'm gonna kill them. He's on a way otherwise. Really? Okay, we finally got through. So there's that one space bar that breaks the glass. If I don't enter the room in the right way, which I don't know how, but it doesn't break the glass, unfortunately, then you will be possibly just stuck there. Do you happen to know how he works?
Not really. You just kind of have to lure him over there, but luckily the most optimal movement gets him there.
Yeah.
So there you saw the cutscene was also kind of backwards. We went away to the door and then you see Sebeth walk back from the door into the room. And that's just some of the fun things of going areas in backwards order.
I always do that for some reason, and I'll tell you that the second try will always work. Told you, it always works for me.
Yeah, so here you're supposed to go into the tower on the side and blow up the side using a super missile, and then you can make this tower fall. But the fence is actually just short enough that you can jump over there and shoot the tower without actually going to where you need super missiles.
When the artifact spins in the right way, you can grab it without unmorphing, but it didn't spin in the way I wanted. I don't have a power bomb, and I really need a power bomb, so we have to break these boxes and hope for a 1. I really need it for the next part. There we go. That was not too bad. Generally, I get it right before I enter this room. Don't worry about the health. There's that one E-tank just before the elevator we're gonna pick up. There's an E-tank here too I could pick up, but I would say... generally I don't pick it up, but just for safety I'm gonna pick it up. It's not that far away. Just a missile to break that glass. You know, marathon safety. Anything can happen in a phase of mines. There's so many enemies in a phase of mines that can just literally take away your so much of your HP in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, and Metroid Primes are generally very punishing with death. We've only gone to a few save stations, and there aren't that many like in every room. So if you die, you might lose a lot of progress.
Yes, and fun fact about the thermal visor, it's not required to beat the game, but it's gonna help us to get through the final boss of the game. It's gonna help us to get through it much faster with the strats I'm gonna go for.
Yeah, if you were to skip it, then you would basically just have to wait for a while for the boss to move on from the thermal visor stage, and you just get it on your way down, so there's no reason to not get it.
Now we're gonna leave Pandora. There's no more stuff here we need to get. Can I get a dash? No. Okay, I almost landed there. Ooh, that's so scary. That's what I hate to see happen.
Yeah, some of the enemies have a lot of knockback in this game, and that can be really devastating even if you're not in the air.
Can you land on there? I was hoping that wouldn't happen at all. Like the only part I was hoping to not drop down was this room. I might have to kill these couple of flies because they're so unpredictable, honestly. I don't even know where their patterns are. Okay, I think I'm safe. I hope. Okay, I'm safe. For now, at least. Okay, again, it's in a different cycle. Okay, I got the arc jump now. So not too bad. Just a small hiccup there, but we got through. Nice door. Somehow if you're above the door, it just wants to close it. Before Vase of Mines, I guess I can explain like... so Vase of Mines, you're supposed to go from the Talon overworld next to the X-ray. However, we're gonna go do it backwards, which is why I need the power bomb, because there's no power bomb drop here just before it. What's funny though, we're gonna get the power bomb back right after that, or right after using it, because there's an enemy just outside of the, just the other side of this rock. There's an enemy that drops it, which is this. It has a guaranteed drop. Did I even get it?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Base on mines is usually the hardest part of the run for many runners of the game. Very technical, very hard hitting enemies, hard rooms, a boss fight there. Then leaving a base on mines is also not only the lower mines and upper mines. There are two sections that runners have named them. Nice beam shot, Samus. So there's the upper mines sections where you leave the base on mines. Then there's a lower mines where you go to the boss fight. And they're all really hard. That was almost a really bad mistake to drop down.
And it should not come as any surprise, but again, we're going through this area in backwards order.
It's faster to watch this cutscene, because right after the cutscene, Samus is already unmorphed, and we can either jump on a Elite Pirate, or jump on this ledge to skip the bite. I prefer this one because I still haven't figured out how to do that, but I do know somewhat how to do it. So I don't know how to do it, I mean, but it doesn't matter. It's a small time saver. So we're on our way to get the power bombs for real this time. Very soon we're gonna get them.
But don't we already have power bombs though?
I mean, we're gonna get the main ones. I mean,
yeah, the main ones are actually required for a later mini boss fight, because the cutscene won't trigger even if you use normal power bombs there.
Just before the power bombs room, there's this Elite Pirate that gets off the class because we have a plasma beam. But with 10 missiles we can quickly end the fight. Normally you're not supposed to have a plasma beam at this point, or even X-ray. They're gotten after power bombs. There's hundreds of different maze paths, and I usually get a really bad ones. That seems a bad one. I haven't memorized any of these, but there's a couple of runners, named at least Clarice, who made a program for this that made a maze finder its name, for finding different solutions. Well, that didn't seem too bad. That was actually really good.
Yeah, so there's like a set amount of mazes that it can generate, and if you know the middle pattern basically, then you can figure out what the rest of the maze is gonna be and find the optimal path before you even get to doing the actual maze.
Just before getting to the really hard section, I'm gonna do the safety save. It's not too far at all, it's literally there. There's a safety save I can do before the boss too, if I want to. It depends completely on my health. Got 2 power bombs there, that's what I wanted. These turrets does a lot of damage, so it's better for me to completely disable them. Otherwise they will just completely kill me in a couple shots. Not really, but it takes a good chunk of HP away really fast. So this is gonna be a lower mine section. First we need to open the door to get the Metroids free.
A lot of the dashes and jumps we've used have been to skip things like Spider Ball mainly, and here in the mines there's a lot of sections that really need you to use the Spider Ball, so there's a lot of hard dashes and jumps, especially here in the mines.
Okay, got it.
Because there he jumped up against the slope on the wall to get up on a beam where you're not supposed to normally go, but that beam is high enough for him to dash over and skip the Spider Ball section.
If any Metroids weren't there alive, I would have to use a missile that was in the other side, and I would possibly scan it fully. Then it would be really hard to get a scan dash off that. I want to mention that in this room there is an out of bounds that gets the newborn, a newborn of is artifact name. No, I didn't get that, unfortunate. I'm not sure where I was supposed to land. Go there. Where are you? There you are. Lately I've been failing that dash for some reason. Oh, I bonked there. Luckily you can stand on anything, so we can back up this easily. Oh, I didn't get the R dash. Surprise. Please. Bason is a very, very strong just environment that... What is going on? Bason is a really strong environment that will literally get a good amount of chunk of... Good chunk of my HP away. There you go. If you don't get an R dash, you don't get enough distance. So that is a part where I need an R dash. So there's an early... It is called early newborn. I'm not going for it at all, because I will have to do it in other room. But there's a really hard out of bounds section that consists 2 soft lock potentials. That is already very scary reason to not go for it. I have a good amount of HP. I hope I get this dash, then I don't have to worry about the next enemies. I got it. Nice. That was very good. Got the missiles too. We don't have to save at all. Though I only have 2 power bombs, and I think I need... Yeah, I'm not gonna call for that one strat here. Okay, so this is an Omega Pirate. Nice cutscene there. We have to enter the cutscene from the side, so Omega Pirate is just chilling there and letting me hit these missiles. I hope I didn't miss too much. I have 2 extras. Okay, just chill there. Alright. So I'm not gonna use this power bomb just to be sure that I have enough for the next part. I will use a power bomb there to... Okay, that's nice. To cancel the chance that he will spawn a space pirate. But I didn't want to go for it, for safety reasons. So this fight, there's 3 different pools that can spawn him, but I want to make him spawn in the middle one. That's the main pool where he spawns at the start of the fight. Shoot a fully charged plasma beam to deal enough damage twice. One off because one fully charged and a regular one will spawn, will make him go disappear. And this is where I need to use a power bomb. Hopefully that was a good timing. That was very good fight. Omega Pirate cannot spawn in the same pool twice in a row. So it will have spawned behind me or in front. But however, Samus standing on one of the pools makes it that it cannot spawn behind me. So in case it spawns then one of the other ones that it hasn't spawned at, which was the other side.
And that's where you get the gravity suit.
Oh, we actually got the gravity suit.
I mean the phazon suit, apparently.
That was a big chip bet, I have to say, Sas.
Don't worry, game. You make mistakes too. Also, fun thing about that pirate is you can use power bombs to damage him, like someone just did, but you actually have to be in the X-ray visor mode for it to take damage. So, for some reason, seeing him differently makes him take damage.
Yes. That's the only boss in a game, and only... Where am I? It's really hard to see it, but the screen is a little dark. So yeah, that's the only boss and the only thing in a game we need an X-ray for.
Right here, there's a small backtracking to the artifact of Newborn, which could be skipped by that extremely difficult out-of-bounds section.
Yes, 2 soft lock potentials are there. I've got it, but not in a run ever. I've never attempted in a run, and just in a practice alone, getting to out-of-bounds is very hard. Then followed by two spots that has a soft lock potential if you don't know exactly how to do them. I was even thought that there's some random RNG element in that one of the soft lock potentials, so that scared me off for sure. It saves just about a minute, just based on how well you do it. Do you get the first try? Skip. Do you get the first try clip or not?
Yeah, you really have to be kind of fast on the out of bounds movement at that point as well to make it be worth it the time.
Was a good dash. So since we have done the backtrack, we still have to do this dash to the other side. This time we're gonna do it off the nice. Is there any missiles? There was some missiles. So we had to do it off the Metroid this time instead of the Space Pirate. Space Trooper actually are their names. There's 4 different of them. 1 for each beam that you can damage. Only damage with. So now we are gonna go up. And this is where the upper mine section starts. As mentioned about the spider ball, there are a couple of rooms in this game, in this phase of mines, that we skip. Where we don't need the spider ball to speed a run. But the spider ball will help, but it's just a long boss fight because the Stardust is the boss fight that gives us the spider ball. These are called spider shafts that we are going to next. They're very difficult. At least one of them can be very difficult. This elite pirate cutscene trigger can't be skipped. It's just a straight wall, just off from the entrance. We can jump over like that, but we enter the cutscene, which just means we just failed it, but it's fine. It's not a failed, and we just killed the elite pirate quickly, without using any missiles. I need missiles.
It's a pretty high trigger for the cutscene.
Yeah, it is.
And you can see it, so it can be hard to make.
I had to make a full jump there, and I unfortunately probably didn't get it, or I just happened to hold upright to go over the trigger just late. Not a bad mistake at all. Easily to back up that.
That looked like a very hard fight.
Yeah, that's a very hard fight. I almost died there with a full HP.
He almost hit you.
Yeah, can't believe that. So we are in an elevator going up, and this is the next room is a spider shaft I will mention about. That is a very difficult. That is a one hard part about the upper mines. Let's hope I don't get stuck here for too long. I remember in practicing and doing the first runs after months, I was stuck here for a while in one of the runs.
So that's called a bomb space jump, where if you morph in a place where the camera is certain way, where it can't see the morph ball, it's actually gonna skip the unmorph animation, and when it does that, it's actually gonna let you jump out of the unmorph when you normally wouldn't be able to do that mid-air. So what you can do is a bomb jump and then add a space jump to that and reach pretty good heights if you have a spot where the camera can go out of the view.
Since the screen is a little bit dark, it can be really hard for me to see where I have to land here. But this is a less punishing spider shaft where we skip the spider ball. I have to land on that rock. There, luckily I got that. Didn't take too long. Okay, we are good with that. That was the hard part for the spider shafts, those 2 rooms. Now, since there's a...
Why are you moving? So again, we're going backwards. So there's a wall here, but it's only on the other side, so we can't see it. But it's still there.
Okay.
Well, most of it is. So boosting into a wall that you're like on the behind of, or when you're in the wrong room, you can get through those walls sometimes.
This is what for me needed power bomb, which is why I didn't want to use it for Omega Pirate to skip a chance to get the space troopers. I have to be careful with that scanning, by the way. The elevators may not come down at all if I scan it too early.
Yeah, you may have been wondering how he beats these pirates so easily. Well, when the fight starts, they do a small animation, and after that, they want to face Samus fully to start the fight. But if you just go off to the side before they try to face you, then, well, they're just gonna try to face you, and you just go around them. They'll never actually fight you because they want to face their opponent.
I'm gonna kill those turrets just to be sure that they're not gonna kill me. And especially this one space trooper over here. I hope he's not shooting me too much. Alright, we're good, hopefully.
So there's the wall that we boosted through earlier.
Usually in video games, if you're out of bounds, there's no collision on either side, right? But in this game, there's a collision both sides.
Yeah, it's a much worse collision than on the right side.
They were smart to put it both sides. So this is a one room before we are out of phase of mines. There's 3 different jumps here. Oh, I didn't have to use a L there.
It's a pretty smart puzzle for the spider ball, but also just places you can jump to and just get around.
Yes. Not too bad. That's the hardest jump there, that last one. If you don't get enough height with the L jump there, you can't reach that. Then it will drop all the way down. There's no backup for that, unfortunately. So yeah, we're going phase of mines backwards. Pretty neat, don't you think? It's like we just started phase of mines when we're leaving the phase of mines from where you usually started, for real. So it's like, hello phase of mines, and we're just gone. Thanks for stopping by. Ooh, I didn't enter the load elevator. Hope you have been enjoying ESA, everyone. Live from ESA or home, especially. I'll be running myself Super Mario Sunshine and Link's Awakening later this weekend. No, it's weekday, I mean, but later this weekend, yes, I'm running those 2 games.
And those games will be run on ViewSonic monitors, just like Metroid Prime right now. And ViewSonic have been innovators in this space since 1990, and also, for example, designed the very first 120Hz 3D 22-inch widescreen display with 1 millisecond response time, and all of that back in 2010. So yeah, they innovate and all the time, and in 2019 they launched the ViewSonic Elite, the monitors used by the runners right now and everyone else on the venue. And they are pushing the boundaries with multiple 240Hz gaming monitors, so you can have the smoothest experience you want.
There's one more artifact we have to get before we are gonna get the last artifact to get to the final bosses. This Chozo Ghost can be skipped, but it's a very difficult. Let's see, can I do it? Alright, that's the first part. Now we have to land back on that peg where I just landed, so I don't trigger the ghost. The trigger for the ghost is very big and it's in this side of the room. Very nice. We are safe from the ghost. It's not in this side of the room at all. If I were to trigger that, it would close all the doors except that. Well, we have to go there regardless, but we can't get out of there. So we can't get out of this room. So we will have to kill the ghost. So that's the 11th artifact. We didn't miss anything. Small Kero jump there to reach this platform. This will be a locked door with a Chozo Ghost trigger if I hit the Chozo Ghost. A very, very small Kero jump there as well to reach this. It's not so noticeable. But with Kero jump generally you reach some areas that you're not supposed to. And I was supposed to be on a morph ball, but oh well. And before that, we are gonna get the final artifact, the 12th one. We're gonna hit the safe on a. We're gonna go hit the safe in a ship in a landing side. Refill our health, of course, safe obviously, and we're gonna go to the final fights of the game. Overall, this run, I'm very happy how it has turned out to be.
It's been a good run.
Yeah, it has been a good run. The only big mistake I can think of was the Fendara drifts or edge, where I dropped all the way down to the water. That was the only big one I can think of. Oh, I didn't hit the door. It's fine. There is a dash you can get from all the way to the ship to the door, but it's a very difficult dash. Instead, I'm gonna do it to go to the left. That lands over this platform. I have 25 missiles, which is a really good amount for the final fights. Do you remember at the start of the game there was a Metroid Ridley we saw in a fragate? He's gonna be one of the bosses here in the final fights. Coming up really soon. Funny thing about this next room, it takes a long while to load because of the background. This is supposedly nice word by the way, I can't pronounce that. Whatever. This is supposed to be the first artifact of the 12. Instead it was the last one. And here's Meta Ridley. There's a 1 frame window to make him go down, then you will completely skip the flying phase. So we're losing a little bit of time here, but that's just a 1 frame trick and not many runners even can get it consistently at all. But it's always good to go for. Okay, there I just hit Meta Ridley with a boost ball. It does so much damage in a 1 frame that it completely kills him off from the flying phase, and we are on a ground phase right now. The ground phase is, in my opinion, the favorite part of the whole fight and the whole run too, was that it's so smooth to do the fight with quick missiles like that, called rapid missiles. I can't get it. There's a way to skip the one attack there, but it's really hard to get that.
That was amazing arrangement.
That was a very good fight. There's different attacks for Ridley. One of the hard ones will be the dash charge, because I would have to manually aim the shot to his mouth, because the power beam shot doesn't go directly to his mouth. It would be blocked by the hand. And for some reason in the later versions, especially in Battle version, they made the they made the fight harder. So you wouldn't be able to use a power beam shot, a charge shot to stun it. Instead you would need like 3 full charged ones. So instead for like a Battle version, you would have to use a plasma beam because it deals more damage. So this is the last section of the game, Impact Crater. We didn't lose any health during that fight. That's very good. Oh, we need a Kato jump over here. And I somehow don't land on that, alright. Not the first time it happens to me. Oh, that's unfortunate. Luckily, where am I? Oh, I'm there. I got a little bit lost there. Luckily we have enough power bombs, we can use those to kill those Metroids. I can't remember those Metroid names, they're different from the regular ones. Because when you damage them enough, they change the colors, depending on the... They can change to 4 different colors, and those are the beams we have. So this is the final fight. Metroid Prime. I'm gonna refer Metroid Prime as an EXO. That's what the runners of the game has named, EXO. Metroid Prime as EXO. You're noticing during the fight I'm being in front a lot to make him do the melee attack. That way I can keep the fight consistent and damage EXO consistently, especially. I don't want to EXO do any other attacks most of the time. So I deal more damage, and I want to keep the rhythm, the right rhythm, while I'm shooting the beams. Otherwise I would miss a shot and lose so much damage, possibly. And if I also get a hit by EXO during that attack, I would possibly get too much knockback and not be able to damage again. Like that, if I was too close, I would be taking damage all the time. Or if I go too far, it will do a different attack. I wasn't in the right spot, but you can shoot a shot there and get it hit by sometimes.
Yeah, when he switches to wave beam or power beam, those phases are generally long because those beams do a lot less damage than ice and plasma beam.
That's true.
So especially in the Iceman plasma beam phases, you want to get this shot in while he's charging in, because that's gonna take some damage off from the next beam color, which can be a weak one.
I also want to make sure all the shots are fully charged, because partially charged shots are less damage. And another fun fact about power beam and wave beam fully charged does less damage than power beam, just slightly. But wave beam is better than it homing attacks. You can see how I have a different rhythm, always the same rhythm to jump and avoid the attack to get the shot in. If I were to get a hit here, I will possibly get an animation from Samus where she's holding a left hand on a way of the screen, on like that. And that way I will be losing possible damage output I'm giving away. So there you probably noticed I wasn't close enough, but it doesn't matter much. I hope. I wanna hit that off. Getting plasma is nice. I think I'm gonna deal enough damage now. I hope. Okay, good. I didn't have to worry about this. Alright, the last chamber. EXO is gonna be more and more unpredictable. It will possibly change the beam while I'm fighting it. And change the beams that I don't... Well, okay, do that then. Yeah, that can happen. That can happen. Please change that beam color. Alright, well. It's fine though. If I manage to time correctly there, I can shoot those beams while EXO is charging at me. And it deals a good amount of damage then. But sometimes I'm in a wrong spot, then I can't deal the damage I want. Are you gonna go to the next? Are you gonna do a charge or not? There's not much to explain about the EXO because he's about to die soon. Oh, don't do that. Can you do attacks, please? Thank you. I think it's a one more bullet charged. Yeah, that's it. So there's a one more phase. And that's named as the Essence by the community, even though it's still Metroid Prime. The Essence is impossible to kill with a regular beams. There's a hyper mode that Essence can create us is a pool, and that's let us to damage it. You can skip this cutscene, but I wanted to watch it because I want to have the music. It would be boring otherwise. I'm going to this ball here so I can lure it more closer to me, off from the corpse that is down there. I don't want it to be close to that because that's part of the strat I'm gonna go for. Don't go that far. What are you doing? Aww. Well, I can still manage this possibly, but I have to be careful he's not too close to the corpse. Let's see. That's good. So I'm doing these timed shots there to deal enough damage while he's about to spawn a next pool. Okay, that's good.
So the way the AI works is after it makes a pool, it has a certain amount of attack it's gonna do before it makes a new pool. But what he's doing here is he's waiting until the boss recovers from the damage and tries to attack again, and then he's gonna cancel the attack by firing again. So he's basically canceling all the attacks and simply doing damage, getting straight to the next pool.
Here I'm getting off the pool all the time because the initial attack from the hyper mode deals more damage than staying on a pool. I can't see the HP because the hyper mode cancels the HP, showing the HP. But I would assume I'm really close to the end here. I didn't deal enough damage somehow. Oh, that's unfortunate. I hope he's gonna come closer to me. This is a whirlpool fight, unfortunately, now. He just has to spawn one more pool quickly for me to end the fight. Okay, it's gonna happen now. Hopefully. Just do the attack. Come on. Yeah, it can take this time. I'm not sure what I did wrong there. I possibly have cancelled too much there. That's my guess. Or something I did wrong. Just something. But it's not a big deal because the fight is over pretty much now. And that's the time. I'm very happy about this run, how it ended up. I would safely assume it beats my personal best.
Oh.
But the only way we can find out does it beat my personal best. In real time it does beat it, but does it beat it in-game time? That's we're gonna find out after these cutscenes. Do we have any donations before I shout out? Shout out and thank people. I'm sad that this last part was on the escape, just like in a frigate. The credits can be scrolled by just holding down, so we can quickly see what is the final time. My personal best is in-game time is 1 hour 10 minutes, which I got just recently.
I guess we beat the game so fast that someone just got confused by what your suit actually is. You just saw the Varia suit, now it's gravity suit.
Yeah, it was Varia suit, now it's a gravity suit. So here are the credits. We can just skip by holding down. Easy.
And can we throw in some quick donations during the
Yes.
credits?
Yes, we can.
So we have $5 from Paragon saying, can we get a $5 hype train going for this amazing run? I hope we can. Thank you. And another $10 from Tom Loop saying, thanks for the awesome run, Samu, and thank you for running Metroid Prime at ESA again. And thank you, Tom, for your generous donation.
Thank you, Tom. So the moment of truth. I hope I beat my time. 1 hour 10 minutes was my personal best. Or is it still? Let's find out.
Oh,
Beat
Well
it by a
done.
minute.
well done.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you for ESA for having this run in marathon again. And thank you Sats for commentating with me. Thanks
you for
everyone
taking
watching from ESA and the stream, and I hope I'll see you on Saturday watching my Sunshine and Link's Awakening speedruns.